8 signs someone secretly dislikes you. 8 signs someone secretly hates you. When our instincts fail us, it is time to apply our psychological understanding and investigate the global language that is body language. Most individuals will not come out and say they despise you. Maybe a kindergartner throwing a tantrum, or like someone who despises you and can't stand it any longer, maybe your ex-wife. But nothing to be concerned about, because do I have the list for you? Here are 8 symptoms that someone secretly despises you. 1. They avoid eye contact. If someone can't even look you in the eye, it's a pretty good indication that they don't like you. Daphne would turn her head away when I tried to make eye contact, or she would stare at me in an intense, almost aggressive way. It was uncomfortable and made me feel like she was trying to avoid me. When we meet someone for the first time, we often look into their eyes to try and get a sense of who they are. And when we're speaking with someone, we usually maintain eye contact as a sign of respect. But what happens when someone avoids eye contact? It could be a sign that they don't like you. There are a few possible reasons why someone might avoid eye contact. Perhaps they're shy or feel uncomfortable around you. Or maybe they're trying to hide something from you. Whatever the reason, it's not a good sign if someone can't even look you in the eye. 2. They don't smile when they see you. A genuine smile is hard to fake, so if someone doesn't smile when they see you, it's a pretty good indication that they're not happy to see you. This is especially true if they smile at everyone else but you. It may seem like a small thing, but it can be really hurtful. The next time you see someone you don't get along with, take a close look at their face. Chances are they won't be smiling. In fact, research has shown that people who dislike each other tend to avoid making eye contact and often wear expressions of contempt or anger. So if you notice that someone is frequently frowning or scowling in your direction, it's a pretty safe bet that they don't like you very much. 3. They don't include you in conversations. If someone is talking to a group of people and they intentionally exclude you from the conversation, it's a pretty clear sign that they don't want you there. They may act like you're not even there, or they may make a point of talking to everyone but you. Either way, it's obvious that they don't want you involved. There are few things more frustrating than trying to engage with someone who is openly hostile, or who simply ignores you. It can feel like you're invisible, especially if the person in question is someone you know well, such as a family member or coworker. When someone deliberately excludes you from conversations, it's often a sign that they don't respect you or see you as an equal. This can be hurtful, but it's important to remember that it says more about them than it does about you. 4. They gossip about you. I did not know that Daphne gossiped about me behind my back until she had moved miles away. If someone is constantly spreading rumors about you or talking behind your back, it's a pretty good indication that they don't like you. Gossiping is a form of passive-aggressive behavior, and it's a way of trying to make other people dislike you as well. There's nothing worse than finding out that someone is gossiping about you behind your back. It can make you feel betrayed, anxious, and even paranoid. Unfortunately, there's not much you can do to stop someone from talking about you if they're determined to do so. However, there are a few things you can do to deal with the situation in a healthy way. First, try to take the high road and don't stoop to their level by gossiping about them in return. Second, talk to the person directly and try to resolve any issues between you. 5. They mimic or mock you. Mimicking or mocking someone is another form of passive-aggressive behavior. It's a way of putting someone down. My ex-friend Daphne used to do this a lot. She would imitate the way I spoke or the things I said. It was her way of trying to make me look foolish. It can be disarming when someone who doesn't seem to like you starts to mimic or mock your behavior. It's easy to feel as though you're being put down, and it can also be confusing if this is coming from someone who you thought was an ally. There are a few possible explanations for why someone might do this. In some cases, it may be a sign of envy or insecurity. The person may be trying to copy you in order to feel more like your equal. Alternatively, they may be trying to undermine your authority by making you look foolish. Regardless of the reason, it's important not to let this behavior get under your skin. 6. They give you backhanded compliments. A backhanded compliment is when someone says something that could be interpreted as a compliment, but is actually an insult. Backhanded compliments are another form of passive-aggressive behavior. For example, someone might say, "You're so smart for your age," or "You dress really well for someone who's unemployed." Or if someone tells you that you're so brave for wearing a short skirt, they might be implying that you're not usually brave, or that you're not usually the type of person to dress so revealingly. These types of comments may seem harmless, but they're actually pretty hurtful. Backhanded compliments can be hurtful and frustrating, especially if they come from someone who you thought was a friend. If someone who doesn't like you gives you a backhanded compliment, it's probably best to just ignore it. There's no need to stoop to their level by responding with an insult of your own. Just walk away and don't give them the satisfaction of getting a rise out of you. 7. They ignore you. This is probably the most painful thing someone can do if they don't like you. They pretend you don't exist, and they act like you're invisible. It's a way of trying to hurt your feelings, and it can be really tough to deal with. It can be hurtful when someone who dislikes you ignores you. It can feel like a personal attack, as if they are trying to snub you or cut you out of their life. This can be especially difficult if the person is someone you have to see on a regular basis, such as a coworker or classmate. If you find yourself in this situation, there are a few things you can do to cope. First, try to take the high road and avoid stooping to their level by ignoring them back. This can be tough, but it's important to remember that they are not worth your time or energy. Second, talk to someone else about what's going on. Getting support from friends or family can help you feel better and remind you that the person who is ignoring you is not worth your worry. Finally, try to focus on other positive relationships in your life. This will help you remember that not everyone is like the person who is ignoring you, and that you are surrounded by people who care about you. 8. They deliberately exclude you from social events. Daphne did this a lot. She would invite everyone in our group of friends to events except for me. It was her way of trying to hurt my feelings and make me feel left out. Being excluded from social events can be hurtful, especially if it's someone you thought was a friend. It can feel like you're being deliberately left out, and it can be tough to figure out why. There are a few possible explanations. Maybe the person is feeling insecure and is trying to distance themselves from you. Or they could be jealous of something in your life and are trying to make themselves feel better by putting you down. Whatever the reason, it's important to remember that you're not alone. There are plenty of other people in the world who would love to spend time with you, and you don't need to waste your energy on someone who doesn't appreciate you. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. Before you go, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.